can in fact is step by step. We're going to perhaps later on during the evening talk a little more about this whole thing, and George will tell us in more specific details what the purpose of his voyage is. In the meantime, I think that most of us are hungry and we're going to have supper. And we're going to ask George's table to help themselves first. It's going to be served buffet style. There aren't too many tables here, so we're not going to fight on the order in which we're going to serve. It's 1, 2, 3, and Carmen Coppola is just joining us from CKJS. So Carmen, maybe you can squeeze at this table too. So have a good supper, and then we'll talk a little more later. Okay? I received a call from George last Friday, I think it was, Friday morning, when he was in Kenora. And from there, he explained to me what he was trying to do, what he had done from Toronto to Kenora. And he also explained to me what would have happened in Winnipeg starting last Tuesday. And so when I found out about this, I made a few calls, and we were able to put together something for George and his cause. And a pledge was presented at City Hall on last Tuesday at 1 o'clock, where George met representatives from the mayor's office and the premier's office and the media. And the pledge was presented by Vince DeLuca, the president of the league, on behalf of 6 contributing groups. And George, we have here representatives for these 6 groups, so I want you to be aware of who they are. We have Lino and Grazia Lutigliano, who represented the Sons of Italy group in Winnipeg. We have Dean Scaletta and Anna Dell'Acqua, who represented the Dante Alighieri Cultural Society. We have Mr. Frank and Mrs. Assunta De Luca. They represent one of the most successful establishments in the food industry in Winnipeg. We have at that table, well, Vincent, and you have already met him. Yeah. This is the president of the Italian Canadian League of Manitoba, and his wife Raylene is here. And we also have Erminio Caligiuri, who I guess he's here in a double capacity as vice president of the Italian Canadian Center here, Centro Capoto, and also president of the Italian Canadian Foundation, and Adriano Lombardini, who is vice president of the Italian Foundation. And we also have the honor and the pleasure of having 2 good friends of Adriana over here tonight for supper. Thanks for coming. So just to let you know that the pledge is now translated into actual money, and I am pleased to present you with this envelope, which contains the $1,200. And maybe before you do officially what you want to do, I'd like to ask Vince DeLuca to come and say 2 words. Oh, after he takes the picture.
Actually, maybe I'll get one of those.
Yeah. Vince?
We're just going to take one more picture.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just going to take this guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not as good as him, though.
You want to make it official?
Yeah. That was broken. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. First of all, let me again congratulate you for what you're doing for a fantastic cause that you've taken a tremendous undertaking. Ti voglio dire che noi italiani siamo molto orgogliosi che uno dei nostri fa questo che stai facendo tu. È una cosa proprio di orgoglio. I want to thank you for doing what you're doing, as I said, and as I told you there at the City Hall, I only had the pledge. I didn't have the money. So now you have the money, and to that I want to add my own contribution to your cause. Welcome to Winnipeg, and continue the fantastic work that you're doing. Thank you.
My turn?
Sure, that's your turn.
I want to really thank
thank everybody for coming out here and making this wonderful contribution to us. It was very much needed too, because we were actually down to our last penny. We were adding up all our expenses and everything, and this is, we really needed this to you know, meet our expenses and to keep things alive. So it was very timely that it came across. And I want to thank you for the wonderful food that we had. And when I'm speaking on behalf of my road crew also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you know, to break bread with you and you know, to enjoy a wonderful meal. And I've had the opportunity to attend many Italian communities since I've been on the road, from Toronto when we started on June 20th, and going through Hamilton and St. Catharines and Niagara Falls and Windsor and Sarnia, and there's so many vibrant Italian communities, and I was welcomed into every Italian community, and it was able to break bread, you know, at centers similar to this, and every time I attend these communities, I start remembering my mom, who passed away, and then God bless her soul, 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, she fell sick with a heart attack and had to be rushed to the hospital, and she was on her dying bed for a month and a half, and the family went through a really hard ordeal, hoping that she was going to come out of it and survive, but unfortunately she didn't. But while I was there, I was able to let her know about this trip that I was planning to do across Canada, and you know, I was telling her all the things that I was hoping to accomplish, and you know, when I first started the kickoff on June 20th in Toronto, she was with me, and as I was going through every community, every Italian community, she was with me, and you know, I just know that she would be very, very proud of what I'm doing today, and I'm doing it in her memory. It's in my heart, and you know, I think she'll be especially proud. We're making arrangements to go see the Pope when we reach Victoria. We're arranging with the military to jump on a plane and to make a stop in Rome and get an audience with the Pope, and have the Pope come out and proclaim once again that on behalf of the Vatican he supports organ donations, and we're sure that it's going to have a strong impact on the 1 billion Roman Catholics around the world. You know, and then of course we're going to continue, because we're going to get dropped off at St. John's, Newfoundland, and then continue going through the Maritimes and back to Toronto, where we'll probably finish at around 2002 of January. So, you know, we got quite the road ahead of us still. So, you know, I think of my mom all the time, every day, but especially when I come to communities, the Italian community, and that's why I make it a real point to try and contact all the Italian communities as I'm going from community to community. And I just never knew there was this many Italians, and you know, I thought they were all living in Toronto. There's so many Italians throughout Ontario, and then I thought I'd seen my last Italian in Thunder Bay, and then they told me, no, there's more in Winnipeg. So we're going to continue to you know, attend every Italian community throughout the walk, and actually, you know, I'm doing this as a very, very proud Canadian, grateful Canadian, and you know, but I'm just as proud as for my Italian heritage. You know, I try not to boast about it, but you know, we all have that prideness with our culture, and you know, you know, I'm just as proud of being an Italian as I am Canadian. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting Darryl Fox a couple of years ago. My cousin, who's a barber, was cutting his hair. He was a customer of my cousin Frank, and